Dirt is the second studio album from Alice in Chains. Recorded between April and July of 1992, the album would go on to be released in September later that year. The recording of Dirt was a very tumultuous time, as the album was being recorded during the Los Angeles riots. The rioting was so bad, the band had to try to get out of town without being hurt. They ended up going out to the desert for around 4 or 5 days until things calmed down. Then they moved back into the studio and started recording the album.
That was a really intense record to do. This is how the record started. Second day of getting sounds, the fucking LA riots happened. So we started our record and a riot broke out. We had to postpone fucking starting for a week. And so that was kind of set the tone of kind of bizarreness. So I mean, it was an intense record to make, and it was also really magical at the same time. It was again, it's we've been real fortunate to keep surprising ourselves, keep making it interesting for ourselves.
The album would be recorded at 3 recording studios: El Dorado, London Bridge, and the One-on-One recording studios. The final track on the album, and one of the band's biggest hits, Wood, was recorded during the SAP sessions in late '91 and was added to the record. That track was also included on the movie soundtrack for Singles. Most of the music from the album was written by guitarist Jerry Cantrell, but for the first time, vocalist Layne Staley wrote 2 songs by himself, Hate to Feel and Angry Chair. Both also feature Staley on guitar. At the time of recording Dirt, it is well known that all of the band members were struggling with some type of addiction, namely Layne Staley, Sean Kinney, and Mike Starr. Cantrell said, "We did a lot of soul-searching on this album. There's a lot of intense feelings. We deal with our daily demons through music. All of the poison that builds up during the day, we cleanse when we play." 3 of the tracks, Sick Man, Junkhead, and Godsmack, specifically dealt with addiction. Staley would later express regret about the lyrical content of some of the songs on Dirt, explaining, "I wrote about drugs, and I didn't think I was being unsafe or careless by writing about them. I didn't want my fans to think that drugs were cool, but then I've had fans come up to me and give me a thumbs up telling me they're high. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen."
We write in some pretty harsh fashion, lyrically and stuff, but the whole thing now it's put together, and the whole overall vibe to it, it's not that. If you listen to the music, if you're not looking at the lyric sheet, you're not going to get that. You'll get some aggression, you'll get some of those feelings and stuff. It's definitely a heavy album to listen to. You're tired by the end of it, it's very exhausting. But that's the way good music should be, it's a trip.
In a 2013 interview, Cantrell said, "That darkness was always part of the band, but it wasn't all about that. There was always an optimism, even in the darkest shit we wrote. With Dirt, it's not like we were saying, oh yeah, this is a good thing. It was more of a warning than anything else." In regards to some of the other tracks on Dirt, Cantrell was inspired to write Damn That River after a fight he had with Sean Kinney, in which Kinney broke a coffee table over his head. The lyrics to Rain When I Die were written by Cantrell and Staley about their respective girlfriends. Rooster was written by Cantrell for his father, Jerry Cantrell Sr., who served in the Vietnam War. And the final track on the album, Wood, also written by Cantrell, is a tribute to his friend and late singer of Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. The lyrics are pretty blatant, It's definitely, there's no goofing around. It's right there. Yeah, well, that was what we were going through at the time, and that shit was all around us big time, and so it was kind of a record of itself. Hopefully you don't want to be there forever, because it's not a very fucking fun place to be, and it's not very conducive to healthy living or anything. But that's what went down, man, and we just laid it out, and I'm glad I wouldn't have had it any other way.
So looking at the 13 tracks from Dirt, it's heavy grunge metal at its best, with tracks like Them Bones, Rain When I Die, Angry Chair, and the massive hit Wood. And don't forget the quieter moments either, with songs like Down in a Hole and Rooster, real standouts from the album. And you have the extra track too, Iron Gland. It's only around 40 some odd seconds in length and was used as intro music in concert. It features Tom Araya of Slayer on vocals as well as Layne Staley.
Didn't expect, you know, to chart where we did, you know. We thought maybe we'd chart down way down at the bottom,
yeah,
you know, and climb
build up, yeah.
kind of like we did with the first record. So to be in the top 10 right away was something we really didn't think was going to be that accessible or that accepted, you know. That was really a shock.
The album peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200 chart and has since been certified 4 times platinum and gone on to sell 5 million copies worldwide, making Dirt the band's highest-selling album to date. The album spawned 5 massive singles: Wood, Them Bones, Angry Chair, Rooster, and Down in a Hole. Dirt was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance, and the music video for Wood was nominated for an MTV Video Music Award for Best Video from a Film. The cover for the album features a woman half buried in a cracked desert landscape. The cover was photographed by Rocky Shinek, the same guy who did the Jar of Flies cover. He created the image along with the album's art director, Mary Mora. It was the band's idea to have a naked woman half buried in the desert for this cover, and she could be seen as being either dead or alive. The woman on the front cover is American actress and model Mariah O'Brien. She has appeared in several movies, most notably Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, where she played Beth. For many years, fans believed that the model on the cover was Staley's then-girlfriend, Demry Parrott. Photographer Robert Shinek stated, "I think Demry's name might have been mentioned as a possible model once or twice, but it was never a serious consideration." A remastered reissue of the album was released on vinyl in November of 2009. So before we get going with my sum up of the album Dirt, just want to say that this video came about thanks to my subscribers who took part in a poll. That poll was to determine what the next behind the album video would be. It was going to be one of these 4 Alice in Chains records, and it actually ended up being a tie between Dirt and Unplugged. So that being the case, we started off with the Dirt video, and we will go on to the Unplugged one as well. Thanks again to everyone who took part in that poll. A massive response, like 2,000 votes came in. So that was awesome, and good to see a good response there for Alice in Chains. So Dirt, Alice in Chains' second studio album from 1992. This thing is totally epic, totally heavy, totally awesome. Clocks in at just over 57 minutes in length, so the whole thing is a totally massive, awesome ride. So many big hits off this album, with the 5 massive singles being released, huge songs for the band. Some of my personal favorites would be Rain When I Die. That's just totally epic. The chorus on that, Layne sings amazingly. He has such a great voice. Down in a Hole, really good song from Alice in Chains. Check out that opening riff on Damn That River. That thing just totally cranks. The song Sick Man, really cool sounding song there as well. Especially in the verses where you've got Layne singing What the Hell Am I, Thousand Eyes, A Fly, and so on. The title track, Dirt, very strong song there as well. And the final 3 tracks from the album, Hate to Feel, Angry Chair, and Wood, just totally awesome songs. With Hate to Feel and Angry Chair being written by Layne Staley, so he did a really awesome job on those 2 tracks. Angry Chair and Wood, easy in my top 5 Alice in Chains songs of all time, both totally awesome tracks. And if you want to hear something really cool, check out the verses on the song Godsmack, the way that Layne sings that and the style that he does it in. I won't say any more here, you have to listen to it yourself, but it's really cool. So that's the album, guys. Some of my favorite ever Alice in Chains songs appear on this record. It was the follow-up to Facelift, some heavy themes and some heavy songs going on here. As I say, mixing into that, you got songs like Down in a Hole and Rooster, and this just makes for one really awesome album. A lot to like here from the album Dirt. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Thanks heaps for tuning in. Be sure to leave all your thoughts and memories from Alice in Chains' Dirt in the comment section below, and we're gonna catch you next time.